Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Some people have asked for me to show some clips of where I live. Well, the first thing is I live quite close to Bournemouth Airport. I've headed up to a high spot where I know I can get some views, and the first view I got was some people probably coming back from their holidays in Spain or somewhere nice and sunny. And although that looks like blue sky, it didn't last long, so my day out was cut short. But anyway, this is a sort of, you can see that plane's just about to touch down. The airport is just down there. And you can see also that the area I live in is pretty flat. So you don't need a very tall hill to get quite a long view. This hill's only a couple of 100 feet high. This is a view across towards the town where I live, Christchurch. You can just see right on the horizon some of the higher buildings on the right hand side there, and the river valley, River Avon, running off there, and in the very distance, that headland, the coast is down the other side of there. If you fall off the edge, you'll be in the sea. So I am also quite close to the sea. Very acidic area. This is typical woodland. Most of the trees you find in this area are either conifers, mainly Scots pine, or birch, or our native English oak. And the good thing about these forests, from my point of view, is a little bit of orchid related. Wherever you are, you're walking on sphagnum moss. It's everywhere. It's in amongst the heather, it's on the bare patches, it's in the damp patches, it's just everywhere. Sphagnum moss coming out your ear holes. But in amongst this, because I'm under pine trees, are these little blighters, which you probably can't see, but that's a wood ant's nest. These are big ants. They're our largest ant, and they are aggressive. They're not nice creatures at all. The last thing you want is these things up your trouser leg, trust me. They're about as big as my fingernail. I'm trying to point some out on this tree trunk. One got on my hand. Not happy. Me or it. But yeah, these are big ants, black with sort of orangey red bits on them. And as I said, they're aggressive. You know, they bite, they sting, and they gang up if you get anywhere near their nest. So we try and avoid getting anywhere near those, and definitely getting them up your trouser leg. Big things. But this time of year, most of the forest, the New Forest area, and a lot of the forested areas around where I am are covered in heather, and the heather is out at the moment, and so you get these huge carpets of purple. Very, very spectacular, especially out in the open areas of the New Forest. You know, from where you are to the horizon is just this gorgeous purple pink colour. When the sun's on it, it's got a fragrance. It's just really nice to watch. It doesn't look like there's any wildlife there. But if you look closer, there's always bees, and sometimes the odd surprise. That dragonfly is 5.5 inches long. It's massive, and it flies like a bird, and fast and powerful. The sun had just gone in, so this one just literally landed right next to where I was. Otherwise, I'd have probably not seen it, because once they land, they just blend in. But yeah. Quite a big one, that. Lots of dragonflies and damselflies in the area. Now that shouldn't be there. That's escaped. That's a garden plant. That's not a native plant at all. But there's houses nearby. I suspect somebody's cleared out a bit of their garden and just dumped the rubbish out in this area. And that little bit made it. But this area's been cleared, and with clearing comes wildflowers and places for things to be. There's another one of these just sticking up out the ferns, and while I was zooming in on that, you know, you're concentrating on the camera, out of the corner of my eye I saw something move, and I know to move slowly. Hello? How are you doing? He knows I'm there, same as I know he's there. And if you watch, he actually makes an aggressive stamp towards me. But I had to keep very still. See, he's not happy about me being there. This is where he lives. But he thought the better of it and bolted. Never saw him again. Gone. Anyway, off to the second area. This is just a little strip of grass in the forest. I haven't got a clue why it's there, but I decided to have a quick walk along there as I was only half a mile away, because there's normally a lot of butterflies and things along here, so some was out, had to be worth a look. This was the first little one I saw. I think this is a large skipper, but it is a butterfly, but well, it was a butterfly. They don't hang around long when the sun's out. And these are difficult to spot when they land. It's a yellow butterfly on a yellow flower that's a greeny yellow, so it hides. Unusual shaped wings. The males are bright yellow, but the females are a paler colour like this one. I'm surprised that one kept still that long, because I was quite close. These butterflies are everywhere. This is probably one of our most common butterflies, and they do a disappearing trick. When they hide their top wing like that, the eye disappears and they're gone. Excuse me. I did manage to get close enough to another dragonfly, but they don't keep still, and with those big eyes on the front they can see me long before I see them when they're landed like that. But he kept still a while. I'm not even sure you'll be able to see that unless it moves. They just blend in. Yeah, I mean, that one moved then, so it's reasonably obvious. But again, he's watching me, watching him. That's what they do. They have got big eyes as well. Very good eyesight, those things. A couple more butterflies that I saw on the way. This is called a gatekeeper. Again, an incredibly common butterfly. You know, as you walk along, they disturb, fly round behind you and land again. Quite bright orange, nice colours to see. And this I didn't expect to see there. This is, I believe it's a common blue, but it was the only blue butterfly I saw on this walk. But then I wasn't in an area where I expected to see any at all. So that was a bonus. Quite honestly, some of the blues, they might be a lovely blue above, but they've got beautiful patterns underneath. But this one decided it was going to show off the blue. I didn't get much of a look at the underside. But an unexpected pleasure. This is one of our commonest butterflies, a red admiral, and again I didn't expect to see this in the area I was in. So this was a pleasant surprise. Yeah, it's getting a bit tatty, obviously. Been around a while. They do bash themselves around, get attacked by birds and things. Okay, this next area, farther down that track is where I got my Scots pine bonsai. That's the track that it was sitting on the side of where it got damaged, but that's not what I came here for today. This landscape is special, not only because it's rare, but because it's flipping dangerous. Trust me, I know. It's basically wet heathland, and to get a better look at it, basically I've got to get across this bit first, and this is where the dangerous bit actually lies. It's see, even here, this ground looks okay here, you know, it looks quite reasonable. It's not reasonable at all. You have to be so careful. Because it stays constantly moist, there's quite a few different ferns in this area, and I just love ferns. I just love that green. So I thought I'd catch a couple of those as I was going past. But, you know, ferns and bits of grass and bits of things like that growing, and I need to get across to a high spot. That ground looks fine, doesn't it? But I'll show you what I mean. You watch my feet. See how soggy it is? See the water coming up round my feet? There are parts of this that look like that, and it's 3 foot deep underneath. You go straight down if you put your weight on it, and unfortunately it's difficult to know which bits are sound ground and which bits aren't. But that's the bit I want to get to, that bit of high ground with the heather on, and that's an awful lot of bog between me and it, so I need to find another way. That looks good. There's only one narrow bit of bog between me and that high ground, and I don't know whether that's deep or not. So every single footstep has to be taken with care, testing with your weight, see if it's safe, and then move forward. Literally, the tussocks are the high spots, but if you overbalance and go down between the gaps, you can be up to your knees or deeper. So that little tree was a nice little thing to hang on to while I stuck my weight forward. But yeah, it is dangerous ground if you don't know what you're doing. It really is, because some of these pits are incredibly deep and they don't look it. Right, high ground. Safety. Right, that's what I really wanted to get to. This is the landscape I wanted to show. The water is quite acidic. Now somewhere in here, a few years ago now, somebody actually took a photograph of one of our rarest orchid. It's called the bog orchid, appropriately, and it's about 3 or 4 centimetres tall, and it's green, and it grows in the sphagnum moss, and it has green flowers. So good luck ever finding that. You can see I know what I'm looking for, and I know where I'm heading for, but I've just got to go careful getting there. I've only got to take a wrong foot here and I could be up to my waist, literally. These pits are deep and the edges are masked by the sphagnum. You can't see where the edge of them is, and they just drop down. There's no shallow bit. They go from nothing to 4, 5 and even 6 foot deep, and I'm not that tall, so I definitely don't want to go in the water. But yeah, it's a very rare landscape. There's some very unusual and rare plants here. Now that's a mound of sphagnum, which looks like it's a little island. I can assure you it's not. That's just sphagnum. That's probably above 6 or 7 foot of water. But that's what I was looking for, our native sundew. I bet Oliver would like to see some of those. Anyway, that was my little walk around. There was a task, but I've made the task a separate video, so that'll be the next video. So I hope you enjoyed that, a little wander around the countryside while the sun was out, and then it came on to rain.